Christmas gets its origins from old pagan midwinter festivals. The festival was called Saturnalia, named after the Roman god of crops and wealth, Saturn. People celebrated the sun's return and its role in fertility. They engaged in feasting, gift-giving, and goodwill amongst each other. When Christianity came to Ireland in the 5th century, pagan traditions were altered or thrown out entirely. The midwinter festival transformed into the Christian holiday of Christmas. Just like today, a lot of preparations happened in the days and weeks leading up to Christmas. Houses were cleaned, meals were prepared, and gifts were bought. The wife was responsible for cleaning the inside of the house, and the husband cleaned the yard and whitewashed the house. The Christmas meal was one of the most elaborate of the year. Meal preparations started weeks in advance. Christmas market was held the Saturday before Christmas. People from the country would bring their fresh farm foods and products for the city people to buy and use in their Christmas feasts. The money they earned was used to buy gifts or special ingredients for the feast. A few days before Christmas, children would go out and gather holly and ivy to use for home decoration. Holly with berries was especially sought after because it was a symbol of life and hope for spring and sun after the dark, dull winter. Holly, ivy, and evergreen were popular decorations because they symbolized undying life. These decorations were put up around doorways, windows, pictures, and on the mantelpiece. On Christmas Eve, families would traditionally go to church for confession only and then attend First Light Mass at the first light of dawn on Christmas Day. Today, however, many people attend Midnight Mass on Christmas Eve. It's traditional for families to put lighted candles in their front windows on Christmas Eve night. The candles were usually tall and thick and either white, red, green, or blue. Some families would only put one candle in a window, a candle in every window, or a candle for every member of the family. At the very least, there would be one candle in the front window. It was tradition for the father to put the candle in the window and for the youngest child, or a daughter named Mary, to light it. Back when the English were trying to suppress Catholicism, candles were assigned to passing priests that Mass could be said safely in this house. They were also used to light the way for the Holy Family and offer shelter for those who may be wandering and looking for shelter as the Holy Family once was. Doors were left unlocked, floors were swept, and 3 places were set at the table to welcome the Holy Family. Some families left a bowl of water on the window for the Holy Family to bless. Christmas Day was a quiet day spent with family. Everything except church was closed. Families would attend morning Mass, then head home together. Kids would play with their new gifts, and women would prepare the Christmas feast. Christmas traditions didn't end on Christmas Day. December 26th is known as St. Stephen's Day. St. Stephen's Day is still acknowledged today, but not celebrated in the same way. Wren boys used to dress up in disguises and kill a wren. They would parade the dead bird from house to house, asking for donations, claiming to use the money to bury the wren. The boys provided songs and jokes in exchange for money for the wren. This money would be spent later on a wren party. New Year's is the day during the Christmas season that is connected with the most superstition. New Year's Eve is celebrated much like Christmas Eve, with food preparations and putting candles in windows. Nearly everything one did on New Year's Day was suggestive towards how the rest of the year would go. If red earth was plowed, then it was said that the graves would be dug there that year. If one didn't eat enough and was hungry on New Year's Day, then they would be hungry all year. If wind was blowing from the north, it was said that the year would be in the Protestants' favor, if from the south, the Catholics' favor. Ashes from the fireplace weren't thrown out on that day, as it was seen as throwing out good luck. If a red-haired woman entered the house, she brought bad luck, while a black-haired person brought good luck. After New Year's, the next and last day of Christmas is January 6th. This day has different names and associated customs in different regions. Some refer to it as Little Christmas because the feast would have been smaller than at Christmas. Epiphany refers to the religious purposes of the holiday. Everyone would attend church, and the ivy and holly decorations were not allowed to be taken down until after the service. Women's Christmas was another title for the same day. It got its name because the women relax and the men serve the feast. The last title for the day is Twelfth Night. The origins of this name come from the candle lighting traditions. 12 rushes are made into candles, and each family member has a designated candle. Candles are lit, and the order that they burn out is the order that the family members will die. Another interpretation of Twelfth Night is that the 12 candles symbolize the 12 apostles. 12th night could also be interpreted literally as it is the 12th day after Christmas and the end of the Christmas season. This project was the first video project I've ever done, so I wasn't really sure what to expect from it, but I think overall it went pretty well. At the beginning, we split up our research into 2 parts, so I researched the days leading up to Christmas, Christmas Eve, and Christmas Day itself, and Abigail researched the 12 days that follow it. And I think we both had some trouble finding information to include in our video.
Yeah, we had trouble finding in-depth information. We found lots of primary sources telling the traditions, but it took some serious digging to find the origins of the traditions. Aside from the research, I'd say the hardest part, in my opinion, was the video editing. I've done video projects before, but I've never actually done the editing part myself. We're not very tech savvy, so that's why we chose to do our video the way that we did. The filming was also a bit difficult, just because so many pieces had to be just right in one take.
Yeah, I did the voiceover part for the video, and it took a lot longer than I thought it would, because it's awkward being filmed, so I just kind of kept laughing and messing up, and I think one part took 7 takes to get it right.
Just like today, I'm gonna leave it. Christmas!
On Christmas Eve, families would traditionally go to church for hold on, that was not good.
Okay. Oh, that's way close enough. No.
Christmas gets its origins from old pagan Oh my god.
We worked really well together. Our interests and our talents aligned really nicely. Overall, I'd say we're happy with the final product, and we're just glad to be done with it.